Yeah, hey, Blind Guy doing stuff here today, and we are doing a video right now on 5 reasons Keystone Pipeline is a bad idea, and the Dakota Access Pipeline, known as DAPL, and I'd say just in general why pipelines are a bad idea, just in general. So, if you missed it, the reason why I'm making this video is King Trump decided that he was going to bring back the Keystone Pipeline and then start the DAPL back up, which I never thought it had ever really been stopped, just kind of put on hold. And these are two very controversial pipelines. One is going to run from Canada all the way down to Texas and take a left over to the Gulf Coast. The DAPL pipeline starts in North Dakota, where they have all that wonderful frack, where they're putting all those chemicals in the ground and extracting the natural gas. That is going to be built across North Dakota, and I'm not exactly sure where it goes, but it goes down through Missouri and I believe to Texas as well. So these are two pipelines, and I am opposed to it, as are a lot of other people. And here's 5 good solid reasons why we should oppose these pipelines. First one is climate change. So you even have the Republicans now backing off this idea that the climate isn't changing. For years they would say it's not changing, stomp their foot and say, look, it's not changing. Now they've even backed off of that and said it's not all made by man, a changing climate. I have to call a little BS on that. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have pumped trillions of tons of carbon into the air. Our carbon in the air, I mean, the plants are really happy these days. The carbon, uh, however you measure it, carbon in the atmosphere is up to 400 parts per million. So if you ever saw the site 350.org, they got that number 350 from the scientists said above 350 parts per million in the air of carbon dioxide, we were going to start having problems. Well, I believe last time I heard we're up to about 400. So these Alberta tar sands that they're going to be pumping, digging up in Canada, which, by the way, we can do another video on this. Tar sands are horrible. This is all known a long time in environmental circles how bad these things are. So they're going to be digging these up, this carbon and chemicals at the earth. See, oil is the waste of the earth. It sequesters all that carbon and chemicals away. The benzene, the mercury, the all the bad stuff in oil, the carbon, it's not used by any organic. Nothing uses it, so it puts it away. It has put it away down underneath the earth. Now we're pumping that out and pumping that carbon back into the air. And so climate change is a big reason why we don't want to be building these pipelines. And we need to stop drilling right now, period. So the next one is the impact it's going to have on the people. So we have the Native Americans in North Dakota, and on the Keystone Pipeline will be affecting North Dakota. Now this is going to be interesting how this shakes out, because in Nebraska there's a fair amount of resistance to the Keystone Pipeline from white farmers, because the government's coming through and they're using eminent domain and taking their farmland, and they're not, of course, if you're a farmer, you're not really for that. So there's a lot of resistance to the Keystone Pipeline, just for the fact that they're taking people's land. And I've seen some stories down in Texas too, they're taking people's land. And you would think that the conservatives would be all against taking people's land, because, the United States is all about freedom. But we all know that's just a line that they give just to dumb up their people that will follow them. It's all about freedom until they feel like coming and taking it away from you to make money for their oil pipeline. So that's the second one, is just the effect it's going to have on the people. The next one is the part where they say it's going to lower gas prices for us. That's not true. There are studies, and let me repeat that. So if you're a Trump supporter, I'm going to say this right here in the video. It's not true that the gas is going to be going to the United States. I would repeat it again, but that'd be kind of silly, because you can tell people that and show them proof, and they still won't believe you. But the gas is, the studies have shown and the documents are out there saying the gas is going to be going to South America and it's going to be going to China. And so what's going to happen is, just like we've talked about before, privatize the wealth, make the risk public. So the privatization of the wealth is in the refineries and the pipeline, and the public is the land and the air and the people. We get all the risk. So we get the benzene, we get the mercury flowing over us, and we get the pollution, we get the oil spilling out in Nebraska and polluting the aquifer that waters all of our crops so we can eat. So this is going on right now, and it's a lie, and they're trying to mislead people, say it's going to help our gas prices. And gas prices are already low right now. I think it's like $2.30 a gallon last I saw, which is pretty cheap, I think. So that part's a total lie. And then the part where they say 28,000 jobs. Well, yeah, that's 28,000 jobs to build the pipeline, which should take a couple of years after, or less than that. After that's over, it's like 500 to 100 jobs going to be maintaining this pipeline. If you do a risk analysis, risk-benefit analysis, 500 jobs are not worth the environmental damage and the cancer and the disease and all the pollution and the carbon in the atmosphere. It's just not worth it. But remember, it's not about the oil and it's not about the jobs. It's about making the CEOs and the stockholders rich. Now, the last thing is the future is in renewables. So we all know, so let's put this in perspective a little bit. I was reading a book, really they struck oil big time in the early 1900s. They signed a deal in Persia with England, basically gave all the rights over to them, and that later Anglo-Persian oil, I believe it was called, and that really got going, and then that turned into BP. So oil's been around pre-1900, but really got going in the 1900s. So we have a 100-year-plus old technology. Now, if you talk about coal's 50 to 60 years older than that. They were finding coal in the mountains way before they were finding oil down underground. So we're dealing with 150, 200-year-old technologies, and we just love that for some reason. I mean, and it's so bad for the environment on all levels. Now let's take a solar panel. Let's take some wind technology. I don't have any numbers or anything, but I'm guessing you could build a wind farm the length of the Keystone Pipeline. Every 200 feet, put a wind turbine all the way down from the Canadian border all the way down to Texas, accompanied with a row of solar panels going all the way down that length of pipeline. You know, I'm just guessing you could probably come pretty close to the amount of energy that pipeline would be producing when you factor in all the risk of the pipeline. When you subtract the cancer deaths in Cancer Alley from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. When you subtract all the environmental degradation and how much it takes to clean all that up. When you take all that away from oil, renewables are far superior. And that is our future, not this 200-year-old technology. And if someone's saying, oh yeah, we need the oil, you just look at them and say, why are you living in the 1800s? But again, of course, some people would love to take us back to the 800s, the good old days when you could do this, that, and the other, and nobody would care. White men could just do whatever they wanted to. So when they say make America great again, that's what they're talking about. So that's a whole nother subject. But they want to go back, so sometimes that argument doesn't work. So that, I am the blind guy doing stuff. Those are 5 reasons that we should not have the Keystone Pipeline and just not have these pipelines in general. One is climate change. One is the people, the effect, the natives and the farmers, the effect it's going to have on the people. The next would be the part about lowering gas. That's a lie. The next would be the part about all the jobs. That's a lie. And then the final one, renewables are the future. And I would just add in, oil's just disgusting. Go out and try to catch a bus up to next to an on-ramp or something. Stand there and inhale that exhaust for 20 minutes. And then come back and tell me that you think oil is a good idea. So I am the blind guy doing stuff. If you like my videos, you can click subscribe there. I'll be making these on political topics, sports, and other things. Cannabis is another thing I do. So thanks for checking out my YouTube channel, and have a good day.
Studio mode check. Stop recording button.